family, but especially in college, you need that, those point people to go to when you need something. So they're definitely there in college. And I would say Jessica definitely taught me like the whole point of, youth circus programs and the outreach that we're doing and helping the youth today. And she definitely, even when I was, not seeing the point, she made it clear to me why I was doing what I do. And I needed that at some points, because it can be very frustrating working with children. And then she's always there to say, this is why we're doing this, like, get it together. And so she definitely helped me a lot to work with kids and understand why I love it so much.
That's great to hear. So do you keep in touch with any of your previous performing teammates?
Oh yeah, they're all still my best friends. My boyfriend was one of my teammates at FSU, and my best friends come visit all the time. And then there's the occasional wedding that we all get together and we have a great time. So it's definitely a circus family.
That's just wonderful. It really is. So how did you get involved with the Circus Arts Conservatory? How did you get involved with that?
My boyfriend is from Siesta Key, Florida, which is in Sarasota, Florida. And so he moved back down here after college, and I was up in St. Louis, and I'm not a big fan of the cold. So I was like, I'm ready to move on and go back to Florida where it's warm. And he's like, well, there's the circus here. And I hadn't really looked too much into it. So I ended up sending a message to Pedro, and I had a friend, Nick Slimick, who was involved with Sailor Circus, and he grew up with Sailor Circus, so he put in a good word for me. And Jessica Hintoff as well knows Pedro, and so she also gave him a call, and they said, they'd welcome me in and, fit me in where they could. And so I moved down, and I've been here for about a year now, and they certainly have fit me in with wherever they could. With coaching and performing and teaching. So, that's how I got here.
That's great. That's really wonderful, because we're glad to have you here. So what is it like for you to be influencing? You were just talking about how you do have an influence on these kids. What is it like for you to see them learning their acts and making their changes to get a trick, and how circus is influencing their life? Because they're younger than you started. Is it interesting for you to watch? Does that have any effect on you?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome to see them develop their, self-confidence and just learning that it takes a lot of commitment to get to that point, like learning a new trick. It's so exciting to see that moment when they finally get it, and because I know how good that feels, like to finally be successful with something that you thought you'd never be able to do. So I'd say it's pretty awesome to see the influence of circus and coaching.
Yeah. And are there any students where they'll say, oh, this isn't an act that I really want to try, it doesn't interest me, and then they try it and they're like, oh my gosh, I love this? Does that ever happen?
I'd say that happens with hula hoops all the time. They're like, that's stupid, I don't want to do that. And then they try it and they're like, wait, this is kind of fun. And I'm like, yeah, why do you think I do it? I mean, it's something that you can do it anywhere. So it's not as, you have to go up high in the air and you got to wear a safety harness. And so I'd say it happens with hula hoops a lot. It is a newer, circus act at Sailor Circus. So not a lot of the students have really performed it. So it's cool to see them try it and realize, oh, this is kind of fun. But I'd say that happens with pretty much every act.
Yeah. Well, the thing with the hula hoop is there were kids that were doing it for the winter show that I think one little boy was like 8 years old or something, and then you had almost a senior in high school. I think she was a sophomore or junior, actually. So it really looks like almost any age can do it.
Yes, definitely.
I have a hula hoop.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready to teach you, Beth.
I have one of those heavier fitness ones, but just for the reasons that you were saying, you can take it anywhere and do it, and it's a lot of fun.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I'm wondering
it's a lot like juggling.
It's a lot what?
Like juggling. You can just take your juggling clubs anywhere, your juggling balls anywhere. You can bring your hula hoops with you anywhere. So it's it's coming bigger in the circus world for sure.
Yeah. Do you juggle?
I do, and I can juggle my hula hoops as well. But my boyfriend and I, we juggle together, and he's a lot better than me. But I can do a lot of the fun tricks on his pattern, and we performed it up at Circus Harmony. So we really enjoy juggling together.
Oh, that's hysterical. I cannot juggle. I'll just say that flat out. I just can't do it. Can't get my head around it. So,
like I said, once it finally clicks, it's exciting.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. I don't know if it'll ever click for me. But so you've been hula hooping a long time. Like, did you hula hoop before FSU or?
So when I was a senior in high school, my graduation gift was to go to Bonnaroo Music Festival with my family, and that was the first time I had seen any sort of like crazy hula hoop tricks. And so I immediately was like, can I try? And so they taught me my first trick was around the waist, and then you grab the hoop and you bring it up above your head, and then you bring it back down to your waist. So that was the first trick I learned. And I had just, kept doing, pretty simple tricks and didn't really pursue it as a performance tool. But once I got to Circus Harmony, one of my other best friends, Eliana Hintoff, which is Jessica's daughter, she hula hoops in her show, and I saw her show, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can hula hoop in my show, and so I worked with her a little bit on hula hooping, and I watched some YouTube videos and Instagram videos, and I learned a lot of new tricks just from watching videos, and just playing around with the hula hoop.
I think that's great. I really do, because it is a great act to watch.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's mesmerizing.
Yeah, it really is. So let's move on to how training or coaching has influenced your life. Are there any other aspects of your life that have been touched due to the fact that you're training kids and coaching them?
I would say that I if I'm gonna work out, it's gonna be some sort of circus workout, whether it's hula hooping or jumping on a trampoline or just doing pull-ups and leg lifts. I definitely don't like lifting weights or running. I used to run a lot, but it hurts my knees too much. So I'd rather get cardio from doing jumping on the trampoline or hula hooping. And I like to enjoy my workouts, so I make sure that there's some sort of circus aspect in there. And yeah, I would say that's probably the biggest influence circus has on my life outside of circus. Yeah.
So I think that's great. And one other thing we could touch on really quickly is you have been very involved in the magnet program between the Circus Arts Conservatory and Sarasota High School. And that's kind of a different thing that you sort of stepped into. How has that been going?
Yeah, so that's new to me as well as it's new to the kids. It went really
well.
You teaching? We did have to. What was that?
I was going to ask about rigging, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so we with the program teach all sort of involvement with the circus, whether it's behind the scenes or rigging or performing or act development. So we incorporate that into their lesson plan, and it went really well. And then we had to transfer to online classes, which, I mean, was kind of a bummer for a lot of people, but I would say that the circus class benefited really well from it, because we got to do a couple of Cirque du Soleil workshops where the students got to do like a Zoom workshop that was taught by a Cirque du Soleil hand balancer or straps artist, and then a choreographer. So I would say we really wouldn't have had that opportunity if we hadn't switched to online learning. So
yeah, that sounds like something cool for you to watch as well.
Oh, I was definitely involved in it. You can always keep learning.
Yeah. So I think we're just about out of time. Is there anything I've left out that you might wanted to speak about?
No, but I'd say that I think everyone should either see a circus show or take a circus class, just because it's such an amazing feeling, and the circus is just an awesome place, for sure.
So that just reminded me of one other thing that I know you've been very involved with, which is the CAC Connects program, which is the virtual programming that the Circus Arts Conservatory started once the pandemic began. So I know there's some hula hoops classes that people can watch online and can learn hula hooping with you. And you've been very instrumental in doing a lot of hosting for that and the classes for that. So that's, a whole different direction the circus has taken you in.
Right. It's a great point. And if anyone ever has any questions about the hula hoops, they can ask. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing where those videos take me. That's for sure.
Yeah. So if anybody is interested in seeing those videos, you can go to circusarts.org, or you can go to YouTube and search on I think the Circus Arts as well. Or Circus Arts SRQ would be our YouTube handle. And you can see all of the videos that are posted there, and you can see Allie in person, see what she does. So thank you so much for speaking with me today. It's been so interesting learning about your life. And
I had a great time.
So I guess at this point, we'll just say, may all your days be circus days, and I hope to see you soon.
All right. May all your days be circus days, and I hope to see you soon.
All right, take care.